This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this Keystone Raptor fifth wheel toy hauler, and the model number is 441 HB. So I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work. I know this was a special order unit, so we'll just go over what we can, and we can go over the rest of it when you come to pick up. So you have 4 awnings on this, rear awning, and then 3 of them on your door side, which is cool. Of course, this door goes into your garage here. You have a 6-point leveling system, automatic leveling system. So you have 3 jacks on this side and 3 on the other side, including the landing gear. I'll show you the controller when we get to it. Okay, triple axles, outside speakers here. There's a TV behind here. Here, just so you know that this is here, this is a quick connect for the LP system. So if you need to plug anything into the LP system, a griddle or a grill or something, it can plug in right there. Keep in mind you want to use the proper low pressure appliance if you're going to do that. Okay, so this is just this is a broom. This is a broom. Okay, this is just your attachments for your vacuum system, and this is your some entertainment system. Is predominantly Bluetooth, as you can see. You have some also a port here for a USB. Okay, this is the behind here are the controls for the touch panel, basically. Okay, so that's just for service. We'll go up to the front and look, and you can see we got your solar controller over there, and your power inverter and some other things. So let's work our way over there. Behind here is the LP tank. You have 3 cameras on this one. You have this one, the one on the other side of the trailer, and then of course the backup camera. Here we have your generator. Works on both gasoline and propane, I'm told. Okay. And here we have your battery and your hydraulics. You can, because this does have an inverter and a solar panel, you might want to add a second battery to it. It's something to keep in mind. It'll definitely improve the performance of it with double the storage capacity. Alright, so let me see it. Excuse my camera work here while I get this thing locked up in place here. Okay. Okay, so this is your solar controller. So you need the app to use this. There's no screen inside. You have to use your phone. So you download Victron Energy app here, either from Google or the Apple Store. And once you get it on your phone and you log on to it, it'll scan the area and find these devices or compatible devices. Yours will always be the first one it finds, of course. And with your phone, there's a password here on this tag right here. It's the bottom number, the one closest to the base here. So take a picture with your phone so you can get a good look at it. It'll be a 6-digit number, and you'll punch that in to log on to your system, and this will basically tell you everything you need to know and more about your solar panel and the system. It'll tell you the DC voltage. It'll tell you the amp gain, how many amps you're storing in the battery, and you can even go to the next page and it'll collect the history. And like it does here, it'll also tell you if you're floating, how you're charging, is it absorption, bulk, so on and so forth, and a zillion other things that it does. And if you're interested in the other things, you can read up on them more, of course. But that's the solar controller. Get the Victron Energy app, and the password is on that tag right there. This is your power inverter. Inversion is the opposite of conversion. Inversion is starting with 12 volt DC and inverting it to 120 AC. So you're going from DC to AC power. Then the power is sent to the receptacles in the trailer. So let's say you're out in the middle of nowhere and you don't have any AC power for whatever reason, depending on where you're at, and you have an appliance that runs on AC power. You need to use the coffee pot or a blender or something. Well, you can get AC power from your DC batteries by inverting it here and sending it to the receptacle. So there's a switch for this inverter inside the trailer. You don't have to leave it on all the time. If you need to invert power, then you can just turn it on, okay? But you have that. There's also a converter inside. All trailers have a converter, which goes the other way. It starts with the AC and converts it to DC power. We'll talk about that when we get to it, okay? All right, and then of course your disconnect for your panel, battery disconnect, that sort of thing. You can also access your hydraulics from here. Makes it easier. Okay. All right. So as we come around the corner here, this is for your leveling system. The default is 5241. Let me see if I can get it light up here. 5241. Enter. So the two most common commands, that's what we're going to talk about right now. You can see there's directions right here, but the most common first command is auto level. So you push that and it will level the trailer. So basically you're going to back into your campsite, and then you'll unhook your tow vehicle, pull it away, right? Then you're going to push auto level. It'll level the trailer. This will always remember the last position the trailer was in before you auto leveled. It stores that in its memory. Therefore, when you're getting ready to leave, you can push, you can see this one, you can barely see it, it says return to hitch height. So you'll push return to hitch height, and it will put the trailer in the position it was in before you auto leveled. Therefore, you can just slide right underneath, hitch up, and be on your way. So those are the two most common. You can retract them all, but you got to remember that if you do that, it'll nosedive the trailer. It won't hurt anything unless you have something under here, or under here for that matter. But it'll nosedive it. There's not a really, I can't really think of any reason to be doing that. But you also could operate the jacks independently of each other and that sort of thing. So you can learn as you go. But the most common, like I said, are auto level and hitch height. Okay, another another battery. Let me see if there's really nothing here. I don't really, excuse my camera work. It's not really a good reason to even open this, but I can show you that the water filter is right here. So if you're going to use the water filter for the system, change it every season. When you winterize in the fall, you'll throw it out, right before you pump the antifreeze, and you'll throw it out. Then after you de-winterize in the spring, I said the fall, I think. When you de-winterize in the spring, after you de-winterize it, get all the antifreeze out of the system, you'll put a new one in, and like I said, change it every season. That's your dump hose, obviously. Okay, your water is it works like many do. This one has 5 different configurations for the valve. City water is the most common. There's your city water hookup. So there you have that. It looks like it's in city water right now, which it is, yes. Also, if you're camping someplace without city water, you can change the configuration and fill the tank, right? The fresh water tank, and then you can pump the water out of the tank. All the plumbing will work as though you have city water. You'll just be pumping it from the tank. So you can do that. Winterize mode, sanitize mode, so on and so forth. This is your black tank flush. So keep in mind, like it says on the sticker here, you want to make sure your black tank valve is open before you turn the water onto this valve or to this hookup here. Otherwise, too much pressure can build up and cause you trouble. So make sure you have the black tank valve open when you do that. This is just a hookup for a solar battery charger kit. It's just a pre-wire. Now, these are your valves here. So it doesn't have any physical dump valves on it. These are all electric valves. So when you energize them, they open. So when I turn them on, it'll open the valve and dump it. When I shut it off, it'll close it. Okay, so it's pretty cool. There are no physical valves on it. It's all electric. Okay. Alrighty. And let's see. And then of course you have a hookup for water right there. And that's your campground cable and satellite. All right. Okay. This is your on-demand water heater. Keep in mind there's a master switch here which is on right now. I'll show you how that works when we get inside. Let me move along so we can get inside. It's raining harder and harder. This obviously you pull your cord out and you push the power button to retract it. This is for your handset, obviously, and you have your tank to fill your tank for your toy hauler tank, and then you have your generator tank right there. So you have two different tanks. Okay, a ladder. It's great that you have the ladder because the manufacturer states that every 90 days you should inspect the roof to make sure there's no damage to it caused by low branches or road debris. No place for water to get through, that sort of thing. So make sure that you inspect your roof. Okay, I'm out of the rain now here. I don't want to get the camera wet so it stops working here. Okay. I kind of rushed towards the end there. So it has a ladder which makes it easy to inspect the roof. I think this is 000 right now. I'll just tell you while I'm doing it. Yeah. So you want to inspect that roof every 90 days, like I said, to make sure there's no damage to it or any of the roofing attachments, and you don't know what's happening up there unless you go and look. So it's important for somebody to look. Okay. So lights, interior lights, exterior lights. Okay. Generator controls are here. It's very simple. Prime, start, you know. Very simple. You can see he has water in your tanks because he's prepping it, so you can look at your levels right there. That's just for your landing gear up and down. If you're going to want to operate it from there, you can do that from the controller outside. Also your slide rooms, your awnings, your heating and cooling, it's all self-explanatory stuff, so you can learn that as you go. This is the control I told you about for the inverter. You can just shut it off when you're not using it. Right now it's on, of course. That's a sensor right there. These, when you come across these are for the fan and the powered vent. So right up there you can see that there's one. So all you do is push on, and you can see it opens the lid and turns on the fan. Okay, and then to shut it, you're just going to shut it off, and it'll close it. Okay. Okay, your keys are hanging here, of course. You have a GFCI plug. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI. There's a few of them in this trailer. But like outside, there'll be a regular plug. It's still, even though it's a regular receptacle, it's still wired through a GFCI. So anytime you lose power in one, think GFCI first, okay? And then it says inverted outlet. Remember we talked up front about how it'll take 12 volt DC from the battery, convert it to 120 AC, and then send it to the receptacles. There you go. Okay. This is self-explanatory. You just turn it and light it. There, you see it right there. So you turn it and then push it in. That's all you got to do. Same with the oven. When it comes to your convection microwave, same thing. Okay. Huge refrigerator, which is great. Has all the bells and whistles. This one here, this section is actually a hide-a-bed, so you can pull the cushions off, and then you can fold it out. Okay, you have remotes for your sound bar, which is basically runs on Bluetooth. But you can see there are some controls here, but most of it is done Bluetooth. Okay. When it comes to your fireplace, there's a remote for that also. But right now it's a space heater, so it's really kicking heat right now. You can adjust that. It's got thermostat, all the usual stuff. You can change the intensity of the fire, that sort of thing. But it's a really good space heater, so on those mornings or nights when you don't quite need the furnace, you can save your limited supply of LP and just use campground power. Take the chill out. Okay, TV, self-explanatory. We'll go over this in a minute. The stuff for here is under the bed. Your 2 extra chairs and that sort of thing. Let me look around here and make sure I didn't forget anything. I've only got a half hour to get this done till another file kicks in, so I'll try to get it done here in one. This we're going to go over when you pick up. I only got one hand. I can't drop the ramp and everything and do it, but you can see the ramp has railing around it. Screen door. Your bunks go up and down. You can configure them to chairs, bench seats, I should say. Which comes with a table that can go right in between there. You can see the ladder is stuck in there, in between the 2 bunks. It's kind of a tubular extension ladder. Okay, you got a half bath here. Okay. Okay. Extension for your awnings back here. Very nice trailer. I don't normally say that during the videos, but it's true. This is something special. There's the controller for your beds. You have a loft, obviously, also. Very, very nice. That's your carbon monoxide LP gas detector there. It should always be glowing green. If it's not, get it serviced immediately. Never ignore it. It's not expensive, just get it replaced if it's not working, okay? The most important thing here is when you're traveling, you want these doors latched in the open position so they can't slide. If you let them slide, they can break, and they do break. So make sure you keep it latched. If you keep it latched, it won't break. You could go down any road you want and it'll be fine. But if you leave them unlatched, eventually you're gonna have problems with them, okay? Fan, all self-explanatory stuff. Another GFCI. This is your on-demand water, so I'm just going to turn it on here. Or did he shut it off? Oh no, there it is. So right now it's set to 120, which is good. You set it up and down right here. 120 is pretty typical. So, and you also can change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit there. So what I'll do is I'll turn on let me make sure let me turn the water pump on here. Hold on. Okay, it was on. Okay. Or is it? Or is it? I guess it is not. Let me see. Okay. I'm confused. I don't think he has water in the hot water tank. This is the problem. Yeah. Okay. Well, so I'll talk you through it rather than go fill it up at this moment. Basically, it'll be on like it is here. And when I turn on the hot water valve, any hot water valve, you'll see it'll look like a fan spinning sorta. And then you'll see the numbers. It'll tell you what the temperature is, 67 degrees, for example. But then it'll start climbing, and it'll climb rapidly till you get to 120, and then it'll stay at 120. and it'll just keep giving you 120 degrees. When you're using a shower, you could stay in there for an hour, and it'll just keep giving you hot water. It's a great thing compared to the 6 or 10 gallon tank that you used to have, especially the 6. You have to move pretty quick. So this gives you a non-stop, on demand. Okay, the toilet works like all RV toilets. Sits over a black tank. You got a flush pedal here. You put a dose of chemical in the bowl, then you push the pedal down and hold it while water flows into the tank below along with the chemical. You put at least a gallon of water in there. Don't use less than a gallon, but you can use more. Most people use more, so keep that in mind. If you don't use chemical in water, that's considered using it dry, and it'll get clogged up, it'll smell bad, it'll just be a mess. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's see here. Here you have your the table that we talked about for the back, for the in between the bench seats in the very back. And then you have 2 chairs here for the dining table. You're pre-plumbed and wired for a washer dryer combo or stackable. Most people like the stackable better. It's up to you, obviously, so you can do that or just use it as a closet. And another closet. Always travel with sliding doors, latched, always. Keep that in mind. This is interesting. This is, it says 4G on it, but you might want to, get a terrible picture. It looks like I'm getting fogged up here because it got wet here. So I know it's, here, let me try this. I know it's looking terrible, but I'm doing the best I can at the moment here. Anyway, if you want to scan that tag, it'll tell you, forget about the cellular function. Most people are interested in the public Wi-Fi booster. So if your family uses a lot of Wi-Fi, you might consider looking at the different kits they have. Typically an antenna would go on the roof, a Wi-Fi antenna would go on the roof. Then a router box connects right there, a square box will go right there, which is the router, and like I said, the antenna goes on the roof, and you can get really good public Wi-Fi. So it's something worth looking into. And I think that about covers it here. This hasn't been the smoothest walkthrough ever, but it hasn't been the worst one either. So okay, so oh, of course, and there's your vacuum system. I showed you the attachments. Okay. All right, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the roof every 90 days. That's important. And we'll go over, when you come to pick up, we'll go over the rest of your trailer with you. We'll go over anything you need to go over. We'll show you the back end of it, the garage door, the ramp, the patio, all the stuff, okay? And we'll make sure you're comfortable with everything by the time you leave, okay? Thank you.